Chess. We all know the game. One side is black, one side is white. Each team gets a king, queen, two bishops, knights, rooks, and 8 pawns. Each team fights against the other. But what can we learn from this? There must be some morals somewhere. It's easy to say chess has something to say about the brutality of war, but what proof is there? To answer this, we have to look back farther than the Renaissance Europe, farther back than medieval Persia, all the way back to classical India. Back then, in its earliest form, chess was the game called Chaturanga. In this game, there were the familiar king and queen, but there were also chariots, elephants, horsemen, and infantry. This was back in the 7th century when India looked like this. Time is not kind to people like me, people who search for information this far back. So where on this map could this game have been made? I'm not sure. However, I do know it spread from India to Persia. Therefore, it most likely must have come from the western half of India, owned by Muslim invaders. And it just so happens, back in the year 636, the first Muslim kingdom was established right in the Indian subcontinent. So what was culture like for these nations that were surrounded? What morals did they hold dear? Well, a good place to find this out is by observing the religion they had. The main religion was that of Hinduism. Hinduism is focused on a singular god, a system of reincarnation based on karma, along with many other dietary restrictions. But there's one thing that stood out to me. Hindus believed in something called Atman, or the soul. All creatures have a soul, and all the souls are part of the Supreme Soul. The point is to eventually live a life in such a way that rebirth stops, to be a part of the Supreme Soul. And that's when it hit me. The true moral to chess, living life to the fullest, living in a way that the divine guides. In chess, who do you play as? The question may seem odd, but I have an answer. You play as the divine guiding people. Once they're captured, they join the Supreme Soul after living a holy life following your orders. Now, if the pawn obeys your command and reaches the other side of the board, guess what happens? A reincarnation of the piece as the queen. It's so simple, but it makes so much sense. Chess is the story of Hinduism, reincarnation, and holiness. It tells us that people should follow the Lord's orders to live a true life, one that may lack joy and be filled with the suffering that war brings. But in the end, it will bring wholeness in the form of divinity.